radio. So while we do that, let's go see what tusked beast Taylor's found.
Oh well. No panic to say.
Well, you won't believe what we just missed. We just had two beautiful warthogs who were just milling around, not so bothered. I mean, typical, very camera shy.
Continue.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, just saying hello to everybody. Hello. So we had these wonderful warthogs, and they were posing so beautifully for us, which was really great. But unfortunately, I think, they heard the word camera or live or something along those lines, and they went darting off into the distance. So I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to carry on along this wonderful long road down ahead, and we're going to go and do a bit of a river cruise, I believe. It's exciting. I didn't bring my costume though, so I'll just have to get my clothes a bit wet, but off we go. We're going to carry on a little bit, so just bear with us as we bumble along. Might eat a little bit of dust. It seems to be quite a popular road this afternoon. Ooh. We've got one of the other rangers just marking some tracks. We'll just give him a bit of room. We don't want to put him under too much pressure with all the cameras around. Hello, Kathy. Thanks for the question. So your question was, how much do I rely on my tracker during game drive? So it's the first time I've actually ever worked with a tracker, which was quite nice. So I was very new, quite intimidated, but I'm very blessed. I've got the most amazing tracker in the whole world, but we're all biased about our own trackers. But I think he's wonderful. His name's Candy. Give a little shout out to him. And so he's really brilliant, and he's taught me so much in the year that I've been working with him. So I rely on him quite heavily. Obviously, he sits right on the top of my vehicle over there. He's got a lovely little comfy chair, and what he'll do is, as he's driving around, he's obviously focusing on the road. He's not just focusing on tracks. He's looking for dung. He's looking for grass that's been pushed over in the morning when there's dew that's set from the night before. All these small little signs that could indicate that perhaps an animal has moved through this area. So especially when you're looking for cats, and you've had a few vehicles driving over the roads, it's quite nice. Some of these guys have grown up in the area, so they have a really good natural instinct of where the cats could possibly be if we've maybe lost some tracks. I'm just trying to have a look just to see what was circled. Can you see what was circled? Oh, apparently a little bit further on, so we'll go a little bit further. Warthog. Looks like warthog tracks, which might be a bit difficult for you guys to see. It's really down below my vehicle, so not to worry. Unfortunately, we missed them. It must be from those same females that we saw just before. I'm actually just going to pull slightly off the road. I see there is a vehicle behind me, Shame, and I'm not the fastest driver, so we'll give him a bit of an opportunity to pass us. So sorry for the inconvenience. This is quite a popular road, so we've got a civilian vehicle coming on through here. We'll let them carry on. Cheerio. Maybe going to drop some guests off at a lodge, maybe going to pick some up and take them home, which I'm sure the guests wouldn't be too happy about. No one ever wants to leave when you come on safari. While we can carry on. So I think what we're going to do know this is quite a long straight road, as you can see in front of us. Not too much happening at the moment. We're basically making our way to go and do a Sunset River cruise. So let's see what's happening with Brent and the lion cubs.
Look at that. See how that little cub is actually extended its claws and it's grooming the sheath that the claws go into. Look at that. Wow. No. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? So, lions, leopards, domestic cats have those retractable claws, and it is incredible how sharp they are able to keep them. Now everyone's stopped feeding, and there we go, a bit of allo grooming or social grooming happening between the cubs. And of course that's really, really important in lion social dynamics. It reaffirms bonds and it keeps the pride as a close-knit unit. Look at that, still cleaning those claws. Now Rita is wondering, how do we tell the prides apart? And well, firstly, there's only 3 lionesses in the Styx pride. There are 5 in the Nkuhuma pride. Also, it's generally where we see them. The Styx pride are generally to the south of Djuma and to the west of Cheetah Plains. They do come onto Cheetah Plains, but it's generally from the areas. And there's certain individuals, like the amber-eyed lioness, are quite easy to tell apart. And the Styx are very big girls as well. The females, for me, are slightly larger than the Nkuhuma females. There you go, so lots of cleaning and preening. And the tick is about to, and they're all fat as little ticks at the moment. Massive little bellies, full of milk and meat. Oh, look at that lovely late afternoon light popping through the clouds, giving the lions a nice little bit of backlighting. And there's the fattest lioness. Oh, she seems to have heard me. There we go. Oh! Hello, Tucker. Tucker is 4 years old, and Tucker is watching Safari Live with us. Tucker would like to know, and he's a bit worried. He says, don't those baby lions know who their mommy is? I'm sure they do, Tucker, but with lions, they've got more than one mommy, so they will share milk between the moms. So all the lions are mommies to the whole pride, so they look after the whole pride. It's one of the reasons that they're a social cat. Let's have a look in this golden light. And there is the fat lion. We'll go scooting past that large belly towards the babies. Oh, let's roll over. Hi, Carol. And Carol says, does one of the lionesses have a skin problem like the Birmingham male? I haven't seen on the lionesses, but some of the cubs, like that one there, seems to have a little bit of a skin problem. It could be mites. It could also be a fungal infection. And it doesn't look to be harming them too much. Oh, boof. Okay, so guys, we got to leave shortly to let Mike from Cheetah Plains come in to enjoy the sighting. Oh, look, a little Fremen grimace there. What's tight, kitty? Okay, so I can hear Mike's car on its way. So we're going to have one last look at these glorious little cubbies before making our way on to see what else we can find. So bye-bye cubs, bye-bye Styx. So the sun is getting a bit low, and we're going to give Mike a chance to come in here and have a look at them before it's dark, because we don't watch cubs with spotlights after dark. We'll leave them be. So while we move out, let's go see how Taylor is faring in the north, and we'll be back a little later.
Welcome aboard the SS Djuma, I don't know. So we successfully made it into this dry riverbed now. So we're cruising along, and it's actually really beautiful. This gives us an opportunity now to see some of the big species of trees. We've got lots of weeping boerbeens, we've got jackalberries, we've got a massive leadwood actually just behind us. That is really spectacular. I'm actually just going to stop here for a second. Let's appreciate the leadwood for a moment. Look at that. We don't see too many leadwoods of this side where I'm from. Unfortunately, the elephants have pushed them over and sort of dwarfed them. So this is really beautiful, beautiful to have a look at. Very hard wood too. So I wouldn't recommend making a boat out of this. Maybe use something else, like a marula. That's quite a nice one. When I was working up in Zambia, they used to have dugout canoes, or they used to call them makoros, and they'd actually use marulas to make them. That's quite nice. We're going to sort of cruise on along through here. Maybe we get to see some bushbuck, maybe we see some inyala. This is quite a good area to actually see any of the animal species, and particularly in the winter months. So during the winter months, the animals have exhausted most of their food sources on the open plains, and like we saw with the buffalo, they're moving into the denser vegetation. And obviously, along a dry river system like this, there's probably really great water, not too deep underneath the sand. So you can imagine the vegetation along the banks of these rivers quite green, and you'll see that as we're moving along here. So that naturally attracts quite a few different species of animals that will come and do most of their feeding around here. So let's do one of my favorite things, and we're just going to move along here very slowly. Oh, we've got some overhanging branches up ahead, so watch your heads. Well, lucky for you at home, you don't have to watch your heads or anything like that, but GPS on the back and Dave on the camera, just keep an eye out. We're going to do a very quick wipe there. We seem to have got some water on the lens as we came splashing on through this raging river, so just important to give it a clean. That's what happens when you work out in Africa. Things like dust and all sorts of things get into every nook and cranny. A lot of elephant dung around here. Should we have a look at this jackalberry above us? That's nice. So jackalberries are wonderful trees. And I know Brent earlier was hoping to see a leopard in one, and you actually do see leopards and jackalberries quite often. They've got beautiful branches. They actually grow out quite nice and horizontal. So it makes for a good spot for a leopard to lie on. And they're very easy to identify. You can see how dark the wood is. The only one you could maybe get confused with in this area is maybe a weeping boerbean. And sometimes they grow together on termite mounds. But if you look very carefully, you may even see a fruit starting to develop on this jackalberry. But I might be getting a bit excited. But I have been seeing a few with fruit. And Kathy, I believe, was asking about marulas, if I'm not mistaken, earlier. And this is another of my favorite fruits to eat, and which is also really good, which I sort of try and beat the animals to. So it starts off nice and green. You should start seeing them developing now. And then usually by the end of July, sort of August, so soon, they'll start to go like a yellowy color, and they'll fall to the ground, and they're delicious. You can actually eat them, which is really, really nice. Very tasty, lots of sugar. This one I can't seem to see too many more fruits. So, if we find another one with some fruits, I'll point them out to you, definitely. Maybe we even get to find the first one that's ripe and I get to taste it. Well, I think it's going to be a really beautiful sunset this evening. These clouds have sort of thinned out again a little bit, and I'm sure you all know clouds make a sunset or a sunrise even better than what they'd normally be without any clouds. And as you're driving, you also see lots of little game parks.
Wasn't that wonderful? I'm sorry, I just get this amazing feeling of well-being after being with little lion cubs. They are just too gorgeous. But don't tell the Styx ladies, I think the Djuma cubs are prettier. Shouldn't be judging, but I do like the Djuma pride more than the Styx pride, and I do think the Djuma cubs are cuter. They are a little bit younger, which always makes them a bit cuter as well. But it's really wonderful that we've got so many cubs about. So we're going to start making our way back towards the northwest and see what's happening on Djuma. We're going to quickly check around this northern sector of Cheetah Plains, where those leopard tracks were about earlier today, but they went into Nkoro. I'm just hoping they might have meandered back. A beautiful evening light coming through. Always check the top of the termite mounds. Mr. Q's favourite spot to hide. Ooh, I thought I heard something scurrying in the undergrowth there. It's a pair of red-crested corans. And yeah, sorry about this. Mark I've left, make your way straight in. So it is breeding season. They're not being the most showy for us. Now, wouldn't it be incredible if we catch the male doing the suicide dance? And do you think Genre is going to be fast enough on camera? I think he will. So, nicknamed the suicide bird. I'm not sure whether it's a breeding pair or mom and a baby. So have a look. I think it's a mom and a baby, yes. Sorry, I didn't have a good enough look earlier. No, or is it? Yes, it is. Isn't that beautiful? A pair of korhans. Now they're called the suicide bird because they have the most spectacular mating dance. It's amazing what men will do to impress the ladies. They literally will fly vertically up into the sky, close their wings and plummet to the earth, and just before they hit the ground they open their wings and land. And of course, the more daring the male, the more attractive he is to the girls. Okay, so we're going to start heading back towards Djuma, see if we can scrounge up anything in the north. While we do that, let's go see how Taylor's doing.
So sorry about that. I believe we lost signal there. We are driving through a riverbed and we are in Africa. These things happen. But look what we've managed to come across. A lovely family of Nyala. And I'm not sure if any of you know this, but they belong to a really fantastic family. And that is the Tracholaphus, so spiraled horned antelope. We can't see the spiraled horns now because there's only adult females and then there's a few young males, but their horns are just starting to protrude out of their heads now. And their color still looks very much like a female. But as they start to get older, you can sort of see it on this, the one just behind the big female, behind the fallen tree, is slowly getting a little bit darker in color. And as he gets older, he'll lose that orange tinge to his body and go more of a chocolate brown. You see that big female, she's actually ruminating. That's just in front of us, which is quite nice. So she's taking a break from eating now. And if you look really carefully, you can actually see the cud going up and down her neck. Look at that. Usually you see it nicely in giraffe, but because she's quite kind and she's standing so close and she's looking at us, you can see her doing it every now and then. Oh, there we go. And unfortunately, most of the animals don't have any table manners. They chew with their mouths open and loudly. But that's something you get used to. You can also hear the go-away birds and things calling in the distance. Now it's gone quiet, typical. But what I really, really love about the Nyala in particular, out of the other species of antelope, in this family you have bushbuck and kudu, and then of course the Nyala. But my favorite is, look at all their beautiful markings. They've got spots, they've got stripes, they've got different colors. It's pretty spectacular. And what I love about nature is nothing's random. Everything's there for a reason. So most animals, and I'm pretty sure this is something that everybody has touched on before, but for the new viewers out there who are watching us for the first time, this is something very important to know about the bush, is that if you see an animal that's got spots or stripes or different colorings, as I've just mentioned, it actually helps aid in camouflage. So we call it disruptive markings. And it's very, very important to the animals, because when they are standing, say, behind a tree or in front of a tree, those markings help break up the solid shape of the animal, and this will help them blend in to the vegetation a lot better. So the more colors, the more spots, the more stripes an animal has, the better its camouflage. And I love them. They look like they've got little black boots on. Hello, Roger. So, you've asked if Nyala are in the same family as waterbuck and kudu. As far as I'm aware, waterbuck aren't in the Tracholaphus family. So it's actually just the Nyala, the kudu, and the bushbuck. So yeah, I'm actually not 100% certain of which family the waterbuck are in. I'll have to do a bit of research. I can't think of it at the top of my head. But yeah, they're probably more in the family of maybe Sitatungas, something along those lines. Once again, the waterbuck have got those sebaceous glands, and I know that the Lechwe and the Sitatungas, which are very well adapted to water. So with that being said, those animals are probably in the same family group. But thanks for the question. That's a really good one. So she doesn't seem to want to move off. Just chewing away. Listening very carefully. You can see those ears moving independently of each other. So you can imagine, and I'm sure you've all seen kudu and bushbuck before, and the thing that you see first about them is those beautiful big ears. And that's because these animals are predominantly browsers, so they're relying quite heavily on their hearing in order to hear a predator through this thick vegetation. Sometimes it's quite difficult to see a predator, so they need to listen out very, very carefully. And you'll see them even when they're moving around. They're very dainty. They're always looking where they put their foot, making sure they don't stand on a leaf and crush it, which is very important. They don't want to give their presence away. They want to stay hidden too. But this is a very, very good area for leopard to hunt. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to carry on driving along it just for a little bit longer. Maybe we do get lucky. This is the time that a leopard could wake up from its slumber and start moving along. Like I said, the animals are doing a lot of feeding. Here's the proof. And maybe we get lucky and we find a little leopard that's been hiding away. I think let's shoot back to Brent and see what he's up to. I hope you all enjoyed those lion cubs. I'm envious.
There's one, there's normally more. Oh, it's lovely light. It's just that golden hour in Africa at the moment. Look at that, isn't that spectacular? Let me just get the aerial out of the way for you there. How's that, Chandra? Oh, it's so gorgeous, I'm going to take a picture. Come on, lift your head. Now you almost want the zebra to, oh there we go, walk, and you get that brilliant dust. Oh, just that lovely backlighting on a striped donkey. We'll get ready for that wonderful dust. There's another vehicle coming, so the zebra might move. Oh. They are incredibly striking animals. That black and white coat. Its ears are alert. Now it's looking at the vehicle behind us. It doesn't look like it's taking too much notice of it. So the vehicle's just going to go past there in a bit of a rush. Cheers. There we go. And fortunately it's a very short vehicle, so look at the zebra. Oh, we got a fight as the vehicle went past. Unfortunately. But he did have a very bemused look on his face as that vehicle kept coming past. Well, he stepped out of the golden light, unfortunately. When you can see that grass and it's all gone now. Now, if any of you out there have horses or have ridden horses, a lot of the behavioral signs in zebras are almost exactly the same as a horse when they're upset, when they're scared, when they're relaxed. So, very interesting that well, of course they are very closely related, although zebra is more closely related to a donkey rather than a horse, but behavior-wise, it behaves more like a horse than a donkey. There you go, let's find some more grass. What species is that, Chandra? We zoom in. Can we? Oh, no, we can't see what species of grass that is just there. Now, zebras are bulk grazers, so they're not too fussy about what they eat, and which is probably a good thing in the current drought. Now, because of their way their digestive system works, zebras always look very fat, even if they're not healthy. So one of the best ways to tell if a zebra is actually losing condition is their wonderful mane. Now we can see how upright and vertical that zebra's mane is. Now when they start losing condition, that mane starts to flop. And that's probably the best way to tell if a zebra is not in good nick. Okay, so we're going to keep going. We've got to go through the Mulwanini River, which we might lose a bit of signal. But Taylor has found one of her favorite creatures, and I'm sure she can't wait to share it with you.
You will not believe, finally, just as the sun is about to disappear, I found my elephants after they tortured me the whole afternoon, just leaving tracks and dung, and now we've come across this wonderful little herd of elephants. They're quite spread out at the moment, and there's a little one lurking in the distance, and I can see a big cow, and we've got a that we're looking at the moment, and then we've got a very young, inquisitive bull approaching our vehicle. He's munching away. So I actually cannot contain my excitement. I cannot tell you how much I love these animals. They're really, really, really beautiful, so intelligent. So I'm going to sit and have a look with my binoculars. Welcome, Jamie. Thank you for tuning in to us, and I hope you continue watching. Remember, everybody, this is all live. So Jamie's just asked a question, and he asked, how long do elephants live in the wild? This is quite an interesting question because it's not as simple as it seems. So I'm going to do a little bit of talking now. I apologize. I'm going to steal the show from the elephants, but we'll get back to them, I promise. And so basically, Jamie, what happens is an elephant's age is actually determined in the right scenario. So it's not sick, it's a healthy elephant, and basically an elephant has 6 sets of teeth, and so essentially every 10 years or so a new set of teeth moves up and moves forward like a conveyor belt. So as you know, when animals eat different types of vegetations, it starts to wear their teeth down. So depending on what type of vegetation they're eating, this will determine how long they live. So if an elephant, like now we're experiencing a bit of a drought, so the food isn't as lush and green as what it normally is, they probably, if it continues for a number of years, this will have an effect on it, but for a short period they should be alright. But an elephant can live anywhere between 60 to 70 years, give or take a little bit. So if there's anybody out there that wants to become an elephant dentist, there's a career for you. You know, you could make some nice dentures, and I'm sure they'd probably live a little bit longer. So they don't starve to death. That's very important to realize. It's not a quick process. It's a very long process. So you heard earlier from Brent how he asked the question, how much does an elephant bull eat on average? So I'm sure he told you about how they eat about 5% of their body weight. So what happens is, as they move on, as their teeth start to wear down, and once they get to that last set of molars, is they're not able to eat as much as what they normally would. So it might start off that they're eating only 4.5% of their body weight every day, then 4%, and you'll also even see them feeding along these river systems, drainage lines, or going to dams where there's a permanent source of water, because then usually there's a few trees that are quite green, the vegetation is a bit softer, and over time the elephants slowly start losing weight and become malnourished, and then this is eventually how they die. Oh, we've got the little one playing around. We'll see if this young bull that we were intently watching, if he moves up and over the bank, then we'll be able to maneuver on in to have a closer look at that little one. But I just don't want to block him off from his mom and upset him unnecessarily. And he's actually hiding behind the trees at the moment, not giving us really a good view. You can sort of just see the trees moving. It's a bit like Jurassic Park at the moment. But you can hear him, which is quite nice. Hear him munching away. So I'll be quiet for a little bit. So I think, let's see how he is. Let me just start a vehicle and see what this elephant's reaction is to us. Maybe he'll allow us to inch on a little bit forward. They seem very relaxed. Ooh. That was good. I'm just going to go back a little bit. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to reverse. And we're going to go up this little bank here. There's a little road we can take, which I think, oh, there's a few other men up here. This is actually much better. Fantastic. We've got one having a little dust bath. Hello. I like to talk to the elephants. I think that they can pick up on your tones. Let's see what's going to happen here. Hello, cheeky. So we've got one that's just sort of showing a little bit of an agitation, but it's a relatively young elephant, so maybe just a bit unsure about the vehicle still. So we'll give a little bit of room, settling down now. Gone back to eating, which is good for us. Is that nice? Look at the thorns on that tree. It's incredible to think that they can munch on such big thorns like that. Young female. But just in the direction that this female is actually going, she's heading towards quite a young calf. I'm going to just maneuver again. Bear with me, please, because she's kicking up some roots, which is quite amazing to see. It's okay, relax, girl. We're just here to watch you. You're beautiful. So I think we'll just hang tight here. She seems to be a little bit nervous of us, but she's settled down again now. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Let's see. Hi, Betty. So you've asked us why, if the elephant's tusks or teeth, why are they not shed and regrown? That's a very interesting question. I don't actually think I've ever been asked that before. So you've stumped me a little bit, but I'm going to try and answer it for you. So an incisor, so the tusks are a modification of the incisor. So they're not used like teeth are traditionally used. They're more used for a digging tool. So I think over the years, with them being able to grow and last a bit longer, it enables them to dig for certain things like water. And I think that they don't need to lose them, because if they keep losing them, they lose the ability to dig for water or loosen a root, something along those lines. So I think it's just an evolutionary process that's happened over a few years. But I will actually do a bit more research on that and see what the actual answer is. But that's just my personal opinion. But thank you. It's nice to have a few questions that make us think. That's what keeps us excited and keep on learning. It's important to get these questions that we're unsure of. What is she munching away? Has she got a nice root? Roger, I like your question. So Roger's asked, are there any other animals other than elephants that would be able to dig in the waterbed? So I don't think so, other than maybe a monkey or a primate of some sort. I don't think a warthog has got tusks, but I don't think they have the ability to dig down and scoop out the mud like an elephant would. So yeah, I think it's just the elephants. We saw it quite a bit in Zambia, where the elephants would come through and dig these massive big, what they call elephant holes in the rivers, and a beautiful, lovely, fresh upwellings of water will come through, and elephants prefer to drink lovely fresh water if they have the opportunity to. And you'd often see things like zebra and waterbuck following them. And once they were finished drinking, they'd make use of these holes and drink from them too. I've seen leopard doing the same thing, drinking in a fresh elephant hole before, and that was actually down here in the sands. So I think the animals actually rely on elephants a lot, especially in the drier seasons when there isn't a lot of fresh water available. If I was an animal, I'd probably just follow the elephants around. They break the trees down, which might allow you to feed on vegetation that you couldn't normally reach, and then of course they can provide you with lovely water. So thanks for that, Roger. I'm so close to these animals, but you won't believe what you're able to see with a pair of binoculars. Look at that, wonderful. Really, really wonderful. Lovely. Munching away, very happy. But here's our little elephant. Here we go. This is the one I was talking about earlier. Coming to learn, possibly from maybe an older sister. Oh, flicking the sand about. Thomas from Colorado. Hello and welcome. Thanks for watching. So Thomas has asked, do each elephant footprints have an individual unique characteristic to them, like we as humans or like zebras have unique stripes, or we have the fingerprints? I'm unsure of this, but I can imagine that every foot is very different. I don't think every pattern, every crack is the exact same as the other. There might be a slight difference. So I would say yes. I would say I don't think any of the elephants have this exact same footprint. Just going to move a little bit forward. We're just going to see how she reacts again, just so you can get a little bit of a better view of this little one. Hi, Gail. Little one's disappearing. We're going a little bit bundu bashing. There we go. You got a little bum shot. But it's a cute bum. Oh, shake that sand off. Look at that. That's the boogie out in Africa. There we go. You can try that at your next disco. Maybe I'll do it a bit later. She's really enjoying herself. Oh, yep, another little tidbit. So these elephants are just going to carry on munching the entire day. The elephants, not only do they eat 5% of their body weight, but they usually graze and browse for about 19 hours a day, which is quite a lot, which is sort of how they feed you at Safari Life. You never stop getting food. Oh, and I really wish we could... Marianne, so I have your question. Your question was, why do we never see birds landing on elephants? I have, in fact, and I can only talk about Zambia because I did work there for a little bit. We saw a lot of cattle egrets riding the backs of elephants, moving through the wetlands. But other than that, maybe the occasional brave drongo might swoop down and land on the back for a little bit. But that's true. You don't see too many birds sitting on elephants. But definitely cattle egrets and sort of north of South Africa where it gets a bit more marshy. So I'm sure in Botswana you'll see the same thing. So have a look out for that. Maybe even try, if you can, Google a photo. It's quite humorous. That little one, I'm hoping that he comes back around here because he's so funny to look at. He's pushing trees over. He was rubbing up on a branch earlier, but I just don't want to upset this young female too much. Oh, here we go. He's coming back around again. Come on a little bit so we can get you. He's just started just behind the little greenery that you can see on the left-hand side of the screen. You can sort of see his movement as he moves around. I think he's a bit bored. No one wants to play with him. He's got a little bit of energy. He doesn't want to go to bed. And now he's gone again. Kim has asked a question. She's asked... She says she can see that the ground is quite sandy. Is it difficult for the elephants to dig? Well, where this female elephant is digging now, as you're seeing, it's a little bit harder. If you look just towards her back feet, you can see there's a little bit more of a sandy region. But you must remember, in the sandy soils, you don't necessarily get as much vegetation growing. So she's just sort of digging just on the outskirts where the soil seems to be a little bit better. It looks like it's got a bit of clay in it. I could be wrong. And yeah, she's found some plant. I can't even tell you what it is that she's digging up. Maybe some, I don't know, bulbs, and there's all sorts of roots. But they've obviously munched the surface already. So yeah, no. that's it's not too hard for them. And if it does get a bit tough, they're armed with those wonderful tusks, which are so hard that they can almost, you know, dig on through. It might take them a bit longer, but eventually they'll get there. Wonder where that little chap has gone. Can't see him anymore. I was hoping to get you a little glimpse of him, but sometimes... Oh, look at that scratch. There we go. Elephant yoga for you. That was almost a downward facing elephant with a combination of a boogie. So maybe she's got a dance rehearsal a bit later that she's practicing for. She's put, you know, I'm not sure. We don't know what the elephants do at night. Richard, are there any big tuskers in South Africa, or are they confined to East Africa? Actually, there are some massive big bulls in this area, especially in the Kruger National Park. There was once a few elephants that went by the name of the Magnificent Seven, which should ring a bell and sort of indicate that they must have been quite large. So yes, they were massive elephant bulls. If I'm not mistaken, there was one where its tusks almost weighed about 50 kilograms. Unfortunately, some of these elephants, either they died of natural causes or unfortunately they were poached. And I believe in the northern sectors of the greater Kruger area, they've believed to have found some of these elephants that have this Magnificent Seven, or this woolly mammoth genetic. It's okay, girl. I'm just going to give these Ellies a little bit of space in case they want to come through here. Oh, and we've got our friend come running through. Hang on, ladies. We're just going to give you room so you can come here. But I think that female, who's the mother of this calf, has come through and quite liked what this younger female is munching on. But I hope that answered your question. So yes, there are some beautiful big tuskers left in Africa, but unfortunately I think they've realized that they need to stay hidden because poaching does still exist in this area. I haven't been too fortunate to see any huge tuskers. I did see one or two up in Zambia, but if you look hard enough and you spend enough time in the bush, you will be lucky enough to see them. Here's my little one. Hello. Oh, copying mum. Well, they've settled down again. It's important with elephants. They're really graceful, gentle giants, but you've got to give them a bit of space. So if they show any signs of them being a little bit agitated, move back a little bit, then switch off. And as you can see, they've settled down quite nicely. They're all feeding now. And if an elephant is eating, it surely can't be an unhappy elephant. Look at that little one reaching up. Now, you see, that's going to be a difficult one to feed on. If you haven't got a very well-trained trunk, you might get a little prick here and there. Oh, we're having a dust bath now. We're going to have a quick look at this female having a dust bath. And then we're going to actually, unfortunately, have to say goodbye to the elephant soon. Just because it's getting a little bit dark, but this is too good of an opportunity not to watch an elephant have a dust bath. And we got the other girl coming back around again, just doing circles, just coming back, making sure, haven't missed anything. Come on, give us a nice big cloud of dust. Maybe what will happen, they'll do a big cloud of dust and then they'll disappear. It'll be like a magic act. But one can only be hopeful. Oh, I'm going to dig right here. Little one coming through again, not moving too far from mom, just staying by. But it's important to have a good good interaction with these younger elephants so that they learn not to be too scared of us and become relaxed with us. So I'm very happy with what we've done. I think this little one has probably learnt a lot from today while watching the behavior of the other elephants by mom and older sister by the looks of it. So let's head back to Brent and see what he's up to. Maybe he's got a nice sunset. I'm not sure.
So, Jeandre and I have been discussing where we're going to place trail cameras. We know we've got one site, we're not trying to think of another site. So, Jeandre, if you see anywhere that looks likely, maybe that big jackalberry tree on Gari Cutline. So many decisions. I was just making sure they're all working and batteries are in. It's going to be exciting to see what we catch during the evenings. Trying to think. I'm really excited to get some sort of little movies of the nocturnal creatures like civets and genets, hopefully, maybe even serval or caracal, and of course leopard, lion, hopefully not too many hyena near the camera traps, even though they have got a steel case. Hyenas are not good news for camera traps. Yes, it's true. Curious ones that I'm not worried about elephants. I am, but normally I'll just put some elephant dung on them. It generally does the job. Another trick is you spray mosquito repellent on it. They don't like that, so they tend to leave them alone. I did have a honey badger attack one of my camera traps once. Unfortunately, that camera trap got attacked by the honey badger, and the next day got eaten into 1,000 pieces by a hyena. And the hyena even managed to, unfortunately, bite through the card, so there wasn't even great footage of the hyena chewing it. Now, we can be quite clever where we put them. We can put it in the area, although elephants do wander everywhere. You want to avoid sort of big elephant paths that are really regularly used by the elephants. So there's that big jackalberry. I want to see if that one's fruiting. It's going to be a good spot. Hi, Jamie. Jamie's wondering what we might see on the camera traps that are rare to see on drive. Well, it's a lot of the little nocturnal stuff. So serval, possibly civet, almost definitely, honey badger, genet. You never know what you're going to catch. Who knows, we might even catch a sable. So unfortunately, that one sable that arrived at Djuma a while ago, and that used to be seen in coral quite frequently, wandered a little bit further to the south into Mala Mala, and unfortunately got eaten by lions. So he was the only sable bull I know of. I've seen them in the Manileti, not too far from the Djuma boundary. So there's a possibility, especially now that it's so dry, that we could get a few more of those interesting creatures coming down. Let's go have a look around here, see if there's a good spot to put one up. Let's see if it's got fruit first. Does it look like it's fruiting to you, Jeandre? It doesn't look like it's fruiting to me. Nope. Oh, I've got a good idea. I definitely know where I'm going to put one. Maybe I'll put one in the DRC so we can see the evening hyena visits. That could be quite fun. And the bushbuck. Shh, don't tell Brian about the bushbuck. You might have heard that shh, don't tell Brian about the bush. I think we should call the bushbuck shh, don't tell Brian. So Brian likes to consider himself a gardener, and he planted a bunch of sunflowers outside his room, and the bushbuck came and literally took them from about this high to this high, and all the one flower that had flowered while he was on leave has also been munched. Brian's poor garden. Now, a lot of you probably, and I have been asked before, wonder why we don't have our own vegetable garden out here, and there's a very good reason. It would get eaten, not only by bushbuck or porcupine, are great munchers of vegetable gardens. That's another creature we might catch on the camera traps. Hello, impalalas. Aren't you all looking very sprightly? Lovely big herd of impala. Off you scamper. And there we go. Big herd, probably about 30 or 40 of them. Just having a quick check, see if anything is coming down to Djuma to have a drink. Now, Romy's wondering how high we mount the camera traps, because how are the hyenas supposed to get to it if it's high in the tree? See, the problem with that, Romy, is you miss out on a lot of the little creatures that walk around, like genets and civets. So that's why I've had these steel cases made, so I can put the camera trap in it. Oh, sorry, Inyala. Off you scamper. So we can put the camera trap in it. So it's probably about 1 mil steel. And I mean, if a hyena really wanted to, it could probably crush this. But I'm going for the sort of it's too much of an effort, so I'd rather not. Exciting. We'll see how it works. Now, I've lost camera traps to many different animals in my years in the bush, and when I was working in the rainforest in Gabon, we actually had about 60 camera traps that we used to use for great ape movement, so like to try to figure out where the chimpanzees and the gorillas were, as well as all the other creatures. And we actually lost a few camera traps to chimpanzees. They stole them and walked off with them. We actually found one like 4 months later, randomly in the middle of the forest. It was the bumpiest section of the road on Djuma. Okay, we're off. No, not yet. Now we're off. The elephants during the last rains created those bumps. They had a big party in the road and made it very, very bumpy. And the one nice thing is as well, I think once we know where a hyena den comes back with a steel case, we're going to able to put it into a hyena den, and that would be absolutely fascinating to watch the behavior while no one's there. Okay, so we're on our way around towards the little pan next to Gallagher Camp, and because there's water there, I'm thinking we're going to get a lot of traffic of different animals. Okay, here we go. Now I'm right near the spot. Now I just got to figure out what tree I'm going to put it on. Always make sure there's nothing at the pan. See what tracks are around. See anything up there, Jandre? Okay. Nope. So here's this big animal path. So what I want to do is I'm going to put the trap just off to the side here. And anything that's going to be walking down towards the pan or down this major thoroughway here. And I'm going to choose a tree the elephants don't like to eat. It's probably quite a sensible thing to do as well. So I think we're going to put this one up here. And there you go. Okay. Oopsie. Oh, sorry about that. That was my mic fell. Sorry, Jean-Andre. I must have given you a very loud noise in your ear. I apologize. Let's put it back. Okay. So, now, the reason we want to set it low is to try and catch some of those little critters. Okay. Am I attached? No, I'm not pulling anything, breaking anything. So let's just have a look. I think I'm probably going to set it to you too, elephant. Some Ellie's making a noise over there. I think that's a good spot. What do you think, Chandra? Because it's going to catch both parts. Okay, so let's open it up. Have you got a lens cloth there, Chandra? Let me just give it a quick dust on the lens. Make sure we don't have specks in the way. Thank you very much. Okay, so the first picture and movie is going to be of us, because I've got to turn it on to put it in the box, and unfortunately that means we are going to have a few pictures of us. That's not too bad. Okay. Pop it there. How's that look, Chandra? Straightish? Oh, I'm making a hash of this. Let's get, there we go. Let's get the lock through there. Okay, I'll just get it a bit lower. Use the rope to just, whoopsie. There's a nice video of my knee at the moment. Oops, I'll fix that now. And that should be okay. Now you don't want to leave any strap or anything hanging loose, because that's just something for a hyena to pull on. You want to try and make sure there's almost nothing visible. Just tuck that in there. Okay. And often a useful thing is just a stick to put behind. Let's make it straight. There we go. So it's going to be very exciting to see what we're able to catch on that camera trap. I'm hoping for something really interesting. Oh, buffalo. Coming to have a drink at the pan. Hello, old boys. Okay. Good thing I got my camera trapping done before they arrived. So I think our first stars of the camera trap are going to be some old buffalo bulls. Now, where to put the next one is the question. So I quite like that position. It's getting multiple animal parts converging, and it's in a tree elephants don't like to eat. So while we switch on our night lights and see what else is around and get our spotlight ready and hopefully find our friendly bush babies, let's go see how Taylor's faring.
We've just stumbled across this beautiful kudu bull who was a bit skittish a few minutes ago, but he's settled down quite nicely now, and he's munching away, having dinner, or third or fourth dinner. I'm sure he's going to carry on munching away. They do quite a bit of feeding in the evening, surprise, surprise. They don't necessarily sit down and sleep like we as humans would when, or monkeys do when the sun goes down. So let's see if he comes back up towards us. Maybe he pops out on the road and gives us a beautiful silhouette. Let's see. Just taking his time. Here he comes. Keep your eyes open. There he is. Look at that. What a beautiful boy. There's so much power in those shoulders. Look at that neck and that beautiful sunset in the distance. What a lovely set of horns on him as well. You can get quite big, their horns. An average length is about 1.2 meters. Sorry, my conversions are pretty terrible into feet. But he's now moving off out of view. And we're going to bring the spotlight out, which I think is a good idea. I think we're going to leave this kudu now as he moves on off. We've sort of lost visual of him. We don't want to pressure him too much. So we're sort of just bumbling along now. We haven't picked up any tracks of anything. We did see some old lion tracks earlier, but I think those were the ones that they located, that Birmingham male that Jamie was talking about this morning. So just a reminder for you as well, any of you that are new watching us for the first time, we've got this wonderful spotlight and our vehicle is lovely and kitted out with all sorts of lights. But bumpy, please don't stress if you ever do go on safari and your ranger, as the sun goes down, sort of skims over the top of a big group of eyes. We try not to shine on any of the animals that are not nocturnal. So nocturnal means animals that are more active at night, and then of course something like that kudu is a diurnal species. So that means that GPS says right. I almost had to do a U-turn. Sorry. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to be looking for some special creatures that come out at night. So anything from an owl, that would be quite nice if it was one perched up on this dead tree over here. Or we're looking for things like bush babies, which I believe Brent is always on the lookout for. And honey badgers, which maybe we get lucky and catch on one of those camera traps. Jennets, civets, white-tailed mongoose, which are always good to see. Any of those little critters, and I'm sure there'll be the odd nightjar in the road that I'll have to try and avoid. So the reason why we don't shine the light directly into the animal's eyes, and especially that our diurnal animal's eyes, is because as the sun disappears, the animal's eyes has to start adjusting to this darker light. And you know, at twilight, it's very, very difficult to see for us as humans. And your mind sort of plays tricks on you. Well, this is a very similar case with the animals. So it's important to not do that. Otherwise, if you do shine it in their eyes for too long, it's okay if you do a little quick glimpse just to make sure that it's not a leopard and maybe it's a common duiker pretending to be a leopard. That happens often. So if you shine it for too long, so I'm losing my trail of thought here, it can take sometimes, in some cases, up to 45 minutes for their eyes to be able to readjust to the dark light. So taking a long time for that vitamin A to start reproducing in their eyes, like little common duiker over there, which we're not going to shine on. So just always keep that in mind. It's not because we don't want you to see the animals, it's just we can see them during the day. And we'd prefer to not blind them and not give them the opportunity to escape from something like a leopard or a lion. So we're looking for a leopard. That would be nice too. We've been hot on the heels for 2 game drives now with a few tracks, but nothing really has prevailed. But maybe we get lucky tonight. I think I've got a bit of Irish in me somewhere along the lines, so maybe that can pull through for us this evening. You just do a little scan. It's always good to also take it easy at night, because if you race around you are going to miss things. So we'll just do a slow little drive. It's quite nice. It's not too cool tonight here. I'm not sure what the weather's doing in the rest of the world, but it's quite pleasant. I've just got a little green jersey on, and it's really lovely and fresh. No, not really too much wind, just a slight breeze, which is quite nice. Talking about trackers earlier, this is one thing I haven't done for a long time, use a spotlight myself. My wonderful tracker usually shines away from me, so you'll see me swapping hands occasionally. It's just I don't have the muscles to do it anymore. I'm going to have to pick up a few weights. So we have a question. If I can, sorry, I didn't get the name there. If you can just give me the name again. Curious One. Oh, I like the name. Very I want to know who you are now. I'm the Curious One. Anyway, sorry. So you've asked, speaking about muscles, can I change a tire on my own? Well, when I first started guiding in the Eastern Cape, we weren't blessed to have trackers. I used to do it all by myself. Carry the big heavy cooler box, anything, you know, wash the vehicle, do it all. And one of the things we had to do was change a tire. Now, fortunately, there's these, they're wonderful, but they're also not so wonderful devices called high lift jacks. And we as females have to use our body weight in order to use them correctly. And they can be quite dangerous if they're not used. So it takes quite a bit of practice. But yes, I can. You have to learn a technique that sort of suits you. Into how to pick the tire up and put it back into the vehicle, but you know, you always have a strapping young man on your vehicle that's willing to help and make us not do too much hard work, but it's quite nice to show the boys that the girls can change tires too. So yes, Curious One, and I'm there, like I said, you've intrigued me as to who this mysterious person is. Hello Vicky, so you've asked, what do I think about the Safari Live concept? Well, as a young girl, something that I really loved was watching all these wonderful wildlife documentaries. And I think this sort of project that's going on over here, the show, is an incredible way to touch people from all over the world. You know, unfortunately, not everybody is able to afford a safari. It's quite a costly process. So in order for people to be able to sit back at home and every afternoon and every morning sit and do a game drive, that's amazing. We've got, sorry you guys, I'm just going to shine away. We've got a few elephants, and the elephants don't like the light too much. So yeah, so I absolutely love it. I wouldn't be here, I think, if I didn't agree with the concept. I think it's great what they're doing. They're also so involved in community projects, which is really amazing. Sorry girl, I didn't mean to blind you. So yeah, so it's not just what you're seeing, what we're doing on the ground. There's a lot of behind the scenes work with the community projects, you know, giving back, which is also really great. So I love it. I think it's fantastic. So unfortunately, everybody, it's come to that time of the day where we have to say goodbye. So I just want to say thank you once again for all your support today. The butterflies have finally started to settle just as the drive's about to end. But I'm going to head on home, and remember to catch us tomorrow morning. And I hope to see you out there, and I hope to see you guys soon. So have a great night, and thank you for tuning in. I think Brent wants to say a little goodbye, so I'll see you guys maybe in the future. We'll see. Have a good one.
So we've hit a bit of a traffic jam in the dark here, and it's the half-eared Ellie, and she's just walking past us. Oh, hello, little monster. Here we go. Hello. Yes, you're very naughty. Behave yourself. Off you go. So I really like this female who's only got half a ear. We're not going to stick with them because it is after dark, and sometimes Ellies are not the biggest fans of spotlights. Now, what I did here was a very upset water thickening. So what I'm hoping is there's a civet or white-tailed mongoose down here, and that's why I was responding to those alarm calls. And if they sounded, the thickney sounds a little bit calmer now. Oh, lots of Ellies all over the show. There's that thickney calling. So come on, maybe a genet, maybe a honey badger. You never know. Maybe a karula. It's not sounding as upset as it was a little while ago. Hi, Tasha Michelle. Tasha is wondering how long am I going to leave the cameras up before checking them. Well, Tasha, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't have great patience, so I'll probably check it every day. But I'll leave the camera there. What I'll do is I'll take a little. I think I've got something that I'll be able to. I'm trying to think if I've got one. Otherwise, I must get one. A little card reader for my iPad. And we pop the card in, we can see immediately while on drive what was there the night before. So whatever scared those thickneys has done a disappearing act, and it has been a wonderful, wonderful evening. So excited I got to see the Styx cubs. Definitely worth the long haul down to Cheetah Plains. What was that? I would say bushbuck, so we're not going to shine on it. Maybe we'll find a little owl. Hi, Valeria, and I know lots of you can't wait to see footage from Rwanda. So it is with our editor Alan, so he has prioritized that. So I'm not sure on the exact time frame, but you will get to see some footage relatively soon. I'll try to find out for everyone. You see something? Oh, a scrub here. Oh, sorry. Hello, little scrub hair. Off the little scrub hair goes. Come on, let's find something before the end of the safari. Chandra, what are we going to find? A bat. That would be a good one to find. Don't know how I could spotlight the bat. That'd be quite difficult, spotlighting a bat. No bush babies. My favorite bush baby spots let me down. Maybe they went the other way this evening. So I think we're going to put the other camera trap up. Either at the DRC or outside Inga's to see what comes to visit us in the dark. That could be quite fun, see what comes into camp, and hopefully we catch some little nocturnal critters frolicking about. Now, it's been wonderful having you. It's about to be the end of the sunset safari, and tomorrow morning we'll be out on the sunrise safari. And we have another interviewee, Ryan, who will be taking his drive tomorrow morning. So be nice, like I know you all will be. But from Chandra, myself, and the rest of the crew, it's been absolutely amazing. And bonne nuit till tomorrow.